Yeah. This just in, guys. The Philadelphia 76ers have been fined $100,000 by the NBA for their failure to report injuries correctly. And this is just funny to me because I don't understand how they're this bad at this. Well, and I don't understand how it keeps happening. You know the rules. Let's just look at the article real quick. 76ers fined $100,000 by NBA for Joel Embiid injury reporting debacle. When the Sixers first shared their injury report for Tuesday night's game against Oklahoma City Thunder, Embiid was listed as out from the time it was released late Monday afternoon, and all throughout the day of the game, his status remained unchanged. Then 2 hours ahead of tip-off, he was upgraded to questionable and ended up playing. The 76ers failed to accurately disclose the game availability status of Joel Embiid prior to their game against the Oklahoma City Thunder on April 2nd. Embiid was listed as out in Philadelphia's initial injury report. The fine takes into account the 76ers' prior history of fines for violating injury reporting rules. The 76ers were previously fined $75,000 for essentially doing the inverse in January, the Denver Nuggets game where he was scheduled to play and then was ruled out last second. Prior to Sixers matchup with the Thunder, it was reported that Embiid could potentially return to that game for that game. The fact that he was ruled out suggested that he would instead target Thursday's game against Miami. Embiid was upgraded just ahead of the game's coach's pregame media availability, went through his warm-ups, and made his return. I just don't really understand how you're this bad at reporting player statuses, you know? And like, let me know in the comments what you think. Where does it come from? Are they just this bad at their jobs? Or is there some kind of like something from the top, something from the higher ups that they never, ever, ever report player injuries clearly? The Karl Anthony Towns injury a couple weeks ago, tore his meniscus, whatever it was, literally the day after, they told you the result of the MRI and when they expect him back. Embiid tore his MCL, had an MRI that night. It took them a week to even say anything, and they still never really told us what the MRI said. They never really told us what procedure was going to happen. Then they never really gave us a timetable for his return. And then when it comes to listing players healthy or not before games, they can't get that right either. I just, once or twice is a coincidence, but when this constantly happens and they're so vague with injury reports, and you can go all the way back to Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons' knee or Ben Simmons' back or whatever, I don't understand how this team is so vague with their injury reporting and still can't follow the NBA's rules for like what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to list players, active or not active. I don't know. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I also want to cover this. I found to be hilarious if you haven't seen it, okay? Last night after the Sixers game, Amy Fadul, Mark Jackson, and the gang were live on the postgame live, and they were doing their best to assess the game and give their opinion on how the 76ers look right now, and they accidentally slandered Tobias Harris. And just listen to it first if you haven't heard it.
Sixers now have 3, I would think, guys, that you can count on for that. And Mark, when you're going into the playoffs and you're thinking about when, you did the guts of the game, as Mark Zumoff likes to say, you would have that, and you could have 3 guys that can do that.
I'm sorry, Amy, name your 3.
Oh no, my 3 are Kelly Oubre, because we've seen it now twice, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid.
Oh, okay. I just want to see your 3. Listen, Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. These guys.
Thank you for including Tobias.
Yes.
Tobias was out with an injury tonight.
Yeah, that's true. But you said your 3. Thank you.
Yo, what are the rules for the media that works for NBC Sports Philly? Like, do they have to say Tobias Harris, Like, Mark made sure he threw him in there after that. The thing that I want to say is, somebody commented on it. I posted this on Instagram, and somebody commented on it and said that Amy was acting childish in this clip. And I was like, how? Like, how low has the Tobias Harris defense team gotten to where it is now childish for reporters to give their honest opinion on the team? Like, the media in Philly has been babying these overpaid divas for way too long. They went years and would not say anything about Ben Simmons. And that could be coming from the top. And the Tobias Harris stuff could still be coming from the top also. You're not allowed to say ultra negative things about whatever he's doing. My question is, like, this is nobody's fault but Tobias Harris. And now we're in a situation where the media is just trying to assess the game and give their opinion, and they're backhandedly slandering Tobias Harris just by telling the truth.
Thinking about when, you did the guts of the game, as Mark.
Look at her facial expression. She starts to smirk because she knows what she's about to say is true, but is kind of taking a shot at Tobias Harris.
Likes to say, you would have that, and you could have 3 guys that can do that.
The hesitation when she's looking at Mark Jackson while she says that is just hilarious to me.
I'm sorry, Amy, name your 3.
Oh no. My 3 are Kelly Oubre, because we've seen it now twice, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid.
Oh, okay. I just want to see your 3.
Oh, Amy Fadul is just damn adorable, isn't she? That's just so funny to me. And I don't know, man. I just saw a tweet about the net rating of this offensive lineup. This is the first time the Sixers ran this starting lineup, and the net rating was a plus 18.9, I believe. I forgot to bring that tweet up, but their net rating the first 8 games of the season was still higher than that with Tobias Harris in the lineup. So we can't really say that this lineup is definitively better without him. But there's that. Give me your opinion on that. I guess I just thought that was so funny. And one last thing before I get out of here, the Paul George stuff is going to continue for the rest of the season into the offseason. We're going to see it every single day. But this part of the report kind of makes me nervous. Now, you know what we do when we get towards the offseason and you start getting these guys on podcasts that just say things. There's going to be a quoted Zach Lowe NBA quote about Paul George every single day, the whole offseason. But the part about this quote that makes me a little bit nervous is the fact that, okay, here's what he said. Here's what Zach Lowe said on his podcast. And, Zach Lowe and these guys are connected to sources that give them information. So it's not just random. It's not just coming from nowhere. The Sixers would leap at the chance to use their max level cap space on Paul George, sources said. George has yet to sign an extension with the Clippers and could become an unrestricted free agent in July if he forgoes that extension. The Sixers would leap at the chance to use their max level cap space on Paul George. That would be 4 years, $200+ million on an aging Paul George. Now, George has yet to sign an extension with the Clippers, could become an unrestricted free agent. This could, I'm just speculating, but this quote could be coming directly from Daryl Morey's camp. That is, and look, Daryl Morey always gets caught tampering, always loses draft picks. He got caught tampering for Daniel House Jr. for crying out loud and lost a second-round pick. This could be coming directly from Daryl Morey's camp saying, look, Paul hasn't signed with the Clippers yet. Let's put it out there that we would be absolutely happy to offer him a max contract. Let's let him know that we would offer him a max contract. And then if the Clippers are hesitant and feel it seem like they don't want to do it, and if his goal this offseason is to secure another max contract, secure probably the last max contract of his career, let's let him know up front and ahead of time that we would be happy to offer him that max contract. That makes me nervous because that is just what Daryl Morey does. I think probably Daryl Morey would have given it to James Harden, but I think some orders came from the top after seeing what James Harden looked like in the playoffs. But that just makes me a little bit nervous. Give me your opinion on that. Do you think that's coming directly from Daryl Morey's camp? Do you think that's realistic? Would you be happy if that happened? Would you be upset if that happened? The last thing to think about with that is that the Sixers should be interested in signing Kelly Oubre. Straight up, they should be interested in signing Kelly Oubre. And with 3 max contracts on your roster, you go top heavy. They've been top heavy for years now, a large part because of the Tobias Harris contract. If you're signing another max contract, that leaves you with not a lot of cap space again to sign guys to mid-level contracts like what Kelly Oubre is going to be worth this offseason. So if signing Paul George to that contract, and look, can declining Paul George be the Sixers' Michael Porter Jr.? Is he a really good third option? Absolutely, when he's healthy. But I'm just not that interested in it, me personally, because I think, the Sixers need to build depth, and they need to continue to focus on putting mid-level role players around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. You don't need a third star. You don't need a third max contract. You need guys like Derek White, guys like Malcolm Brogdon, guys like Kelly Oubre, guys like Aaron Gordon, guys like, you need those mid-level, high-level role players. So to me, this is a bad idea. And especially if signing Paul George hinders you from giving Kelly Oubre the money that he's going to deserve this offseason, then I'm a big no on that. But it makes me nervous because I feel like it's coming directly from Daryl Morey's camp, trying to get ahead of the game, trying to let Paul George know we would offer you a max. That's my take on all of it, man. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you soon.